And Florida is cracking down on crimes by illegal migrants. New laws are mandating stiffer criminal penalties for those illegally in the country than for anyone else. For example, a misdemeanor theft would typically result in up to a year in jail. But for an illegal migrant, that same crime now carries a felony punishment of up to 5 years behind bars. The Coast Guard is also doing its part to stop the surge of migrants from coming into the U.S., regularly taking to the skies to spot smugglers, and migrants are trying to make it to land by speed and fishing boats. This is more than just an operation, though. They're also saving lives as some migrants find themselves in some really dangerous situations at sea. NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Enton is here. You got to go along for one of these operations. I often think about these boats traveling with migrants. They're not equipped to carry as many people as they are, and you have a storm hit, and then it's a pretty dicey situation.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't play out there in the ocean, in the Florida Straits between Florida and the Bahamas. The weather can get really bad, and there's been an uptick in the migrants coming across the Florida Straits as things get tighter on the U.S.-Mexico border. There's more resources there. Some people are opting to say, hey, let me try to get to the Bahamas and then basically float across or get smuggled across in a speedboat or a fishing boat. So they're seeing more of that happening recently. It was interesting. I went up with the Coast Guard, went up on one of their prop planes. I was up there for 6 hours. And it was quite a journey. We started down in Miami and then went all down along the coast, almost down to Cuba, and then over several different islands as they looked for migrants trying to cross in the area, again, near the Bahamas. Migrants from all over the world, closer places like Cuba and Haiti, but also places far away like China, which is so interesting. They somehow end up in the Atlantic Ocean near Florida, all the way from China. Florida Congressman Carlos Jimenez says there's been an 8,000% increase in the number of Chinese migrants caught on the Florida coast.
I think a lot of Americans think of the border as, U.S.-Mexico. You always see that on TV, but people don't realize this is actually a border, too, right out here in the ocean.
Oh, yes, of course. We advise anyone that may think that they would like to enter the U.S. illegally to not take to the seas. Not only are these ventures illegal, but they're also quite dangerous. And please do not trust these transnational organizations. These smugglers, they do not care about you.
It really is dangerous. There's this Chinese guy on a paddleboard out there right off the Florida coast with a suitcase strapped to the paddleboard, which was a crazy sight. So we've got a big special. Yeah, it's crazy. We got a big special coming up Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we go into all of this, what's happening on the Florida coast, and then also U.S.-Mexico border.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.